Welcome, Sagittarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I have pulled for you today the Nine of Swords for this full moon in Leo on the 12th of February. The Nine of Swords is indicating a number of events that have come to you by way of very disheartening news. You may have been shocked by the intensity of news of someone's passing, the separation of someone, perhaps some significant loss. This feels as though it is residual damage from the past. It can be fairly long ago past, but you are surprisingly almost electrified by the news of this. And it is making you realize how much you have suffered as a result. This thankfully represents the end of the suffering. This is the opportunity to break clean, to end it by fully understanding the complete cycle as it has played itself out. So this may not be something that you felt attached to for quite some time. However, this news is pulling you up short and realizing just how attached to the experience of this relationship or situation and the long-term oppression that you have suffered as the result. This is a general reading, Sagittarius, so it isn't going to resonate for all of you. Welcome again to those of you that are new and returning. I am going to get started with the way that you are seen by others, the way that you identify in the world, and what a stark contrast to the overall energy of the Nine of Swords. The Three of Cups is indicating that you feel yourself to be a part of a community of abundance, love, and resourcefulness. Part of the abundance you appreciate is not about joyful, happy experiences and celebrating that. It is about the ability to be vulnerable and to share whatever it is you're experiencing with those that see and hear you, and the exchange of that energy strengthening you, reminding you of the joy and support that you have in your current life. This is a beautiful anecdote to the news that you are receiving, almost like a contrast. It's a kind of reminder of where you've come from in your distant past and how much you have changed the dynamic of your life. So there's a sense of gratitude and a fair amount of detachment that allows you to let yourself experience the weight of the sadness, the heaviness, and the responsibility that you shared in something that happened a long time ago, something that ended but was not separated. This is helping you to know that you are resilient. No matter how devastating, how ruinous the experiences of the past were, and it looks as though they were pretty challenging. I would be inclined to think that perhaps 15 to 17 years ago, Pluto's transit in Capricorn was at the very heart of this long, difficult passage that you have experienced, where you were torn down, experienced a lot of loss, and have had to build yourself up. And you've built yourself up in a way that reflects the most beautiful, glorious joy and abundance, no matter how modest your resources are. In the first house, we have the Temperance card, and this is the way you've done it. The Temperance card indicates the very careful, methodical, long-term balancing of the storms, the trials, the oppression, the unfairness, the trauma that you've experienced with all of the resources that you have within and without you. This is you understanding that ultimately you have been able to survive through grace. And it is about the gracefulness of your resilience that you are accepting to be the theme, the modus operandi of your life. No matter what happens, I feel that you are able to not put on a happy face. That is not it at all. But you're able to show poise, to not give in to perhaps the devastation that you felt or experienced, but were able to keep up a strong, brave, positive front to those that you loved. You were considerate of the model that your behavior was for others. And in that way, you have carefully balanced out your losses. It isn't that you didn't make some missteps along the way. There is no such thing as perfection, but you have overall been very careful to navigate your way coming back from the devastation, the suffering, or the pain that you experienced. In the fourth house, the house of your foundation, your home, your family, the Knight of Wands shows that this is an area of your heart, your inspiration. This is where you have come to a sense of belonging, a sense of moving forward in your life. And that is because you found your heart. You've claimed what it is you truly desire, not what someone else desired for you or what someone else pursued in your name. You have really moved forward in a way that says, these are the things that I want, quite possibly things that you have had difficulty articulating previously. Never feeling like it was okay to want things for yourself. That good things just happen because that was the way that things work. But at this point, you're understanding good things don't just happen. You want them, you pursue them, you work towards them. And that's exactly where you are now. And there's something you're building beautiful, some beautiful exploration that is anchored in your home or your domestic life. In the seventh house of your significant relationships, Leo got this position. The Hermit card is about the sacred protection that you require to find the answers within yourself. So you haven't come to this place of joy, of inspiration by moving out wildly in the world. You've come to this by cultivating silent space in order to consider your own thoughts, in order to weigh in seeking guidance from those that you trust, those that see you, those that know you, those you admire. And in aspiring to that, you have cultivated a silent practice, a retreat within, so that you consciously are aware that what works for others doesn't necessarily work for you. And I think, sorry about the beeping noise outside, let's say that's confirmation of this idea. This is about your absolute clarity that you are unique. You once followed the status quo. You once conformed with what was expected of you, and it failed you miserably. So I think you've learned that your way is your way, and it takes time and space to be able to consider that wisely. And if this reading is resonating for you, Sagittarius, please like this video. Please share this with others, and please subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And I pulled the Health card. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. It feels as though there has been a process of physical healing. It can be anything from gaining physical energy back, losing weight to overcoming a serious disease. It depends on who you are and your circumstances. However, the idea of health and regaining that health by honoring yourself, your body, is about learning to experience things through your body, embodying your feelings and experiences in a way that you take full responsibility for them, and from a place where you can really change your attitudes, your beliefs. You can address your fears. This is also about instituting routines and habits that are freeing you of toxicity. And I do believe that that has been the focus of your attention for a while, and possibly why the news that you have received that has been so overwhelmingly sad or burdensome to you is so relevant. Much of what you once were surrounded by, you once were engaged in, you now see as being toxic, you now see as being false or illusory or important for others but not for you. You were in a wrong place, you were in a wrong situation that you entered into thinking that it was a magical reward, that it was something that everyone aspires to, and you had finally gotten this marriage, this partner, this job, whatever it was. And you now see that just your alignment with those values was false for you and may have created some tension or dis-ease in your body. So this is a very personal process that really resonates with the Hermit card. Really going in and understanding what the emotions that were generated by an unhappy circumstance, the suffering you experienced, how that came about, and how you can take responsibility to reverse that. In the first house, the Temperance card is clarified by the Seven of Staffs. Yeah, one of your primary priorities is getting rid of the distractions that others may pose or bring to you through their desire for you to fix things for them. Because you have been a caretaker, and because you are so careful, you are so gentle at some level, you have not been ruined by an experience that could have embittered you. People look to you as a fixer, but you are rejecting that role. You understand that has simply robbed you of the ability to develop yourself. So your boundaries are very clear and healthy, and it's something you review on a regular basis. It's a work in progress for you. In the Knight of Wands, in the fourth house, is clarified by the Six of Staffs. Somehow your home life, maybe you have a business that's based in the home, maybe the work that you do in your domestic environment, for your domestic environment, your home life, your community, your family, you've experienced some victories. And this is interesting given the sad news that you've received. This perhaps again is resonating with this idea that you're realizing you've achieved a lot of growth in recommitting yourself to the family, to the community, to a collaboration, to a team in a way that has set you up for shared values, for a more cooperative way of understanding the resources that are available to you. And this is in stark contrast to the experience that you left behind. And in the seventh house of your significant others, the Hermit is clarified by the King of Swords, the Lord of Swords. This is really the dispassion that you have experienced. Sagittarius, you are positive and optimistic by nature. Learning how to detach yourself from your emotions, from your aspirations. In your case, it's almost more the excitement and exuberance you experience when you land on something positive or good. It excites you. Learning to detach yourself from those emotions has aided you greatly in looking realistically at the emotions that are a part of all of your experiences. So you are not prettying up things in the way that you characteristically might. Your impulse is always to see things as light, as fine, as okay, as positive, to see things in a hopeful way that has betrayed you in many senses, that has taken away from your better ideas, that has prevented you from really looking and exploring difficult situations by band-aiding it over with a nice story, an optimistic face, a hopeful approach. It isn't that you're abandoning hope. It's that in order to learn to gain the answers that you need for you, you have to look realistically at the experiences and feelings you've had about them. And this is helping you do so. It's helping you find truth rather than a pretty story, an okay, a band-aid, rose-colored glasses. This is the opposite. The truth is what's giving you the justice you deserve. And in the 10th house, the Three of Cups is clarified by the Justice card as we speak. Something about this past experience that you've recently heard news of, perhaps a loss of someone you were once very closely attached to, has exhausted your desire for revenge, for fair treatment, for tit for tat. My sense here is that you once thought that you were owed something from this situation, and you have consciously worked against that. You have consciously worked to accept that whatever the situation was is what it was, and that there is being away from it, detaching yourself, separating yourself from it was all the karmic reward you needed. But there was some residual sense of resentment or deservedness that has never been addressed. And in many ways, you are gaining a lesson in karma that you had not anticipated. You're getting new information about the conditions that this former situation or relationship played out. Information you didn't have before that's making you see it more realistically, and also understanding karma in a more nuanced way. In other words, it isn't a tit for tat. We don't always get what we gave in a literal sense, that there are so many levels that our energy exchanges exist upon, that karma is something that you have experienced through finding the love and the joy, the abundance, and the vulnerability in your life after such an experience. To be able to open yourself up to others is the real gift here and the lesson you've learned. Not wishing to blame anyone, not finding fault with anyone, recognizing that all blame is shared, all responsibility is shared, and the ability to simply move on and establish a community that is sharing, that is supportive, that does allow you to speak from your heart, from all of your experiences, is the karma, is the justice that you have received in the moment. I'm going to finish up this reading, Sagittarius, with a crystal oracle, and out jumps the beautiful Hidden Knight, and the key word is gratitude. I'm grateful, and this loving energy fills every cell of my being. This is so beautiful, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for this reading. Until next time, namaste.